Pendulum Reborn.
What is up, guys? This is Linthio coming at you with a card discussion today about a card that is coming out in Breakers of Shadows, and that is Pendulum Reborn. Now, this is a very simple trap card with the following effect. Special summon one face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck or graveyard. So as I said, very simple effects. Now, important thing to note where it says face up, that simply means that if you have something like, Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon in your extra deck that is a pendulum and an XE, you can't just go like, meh, summon that, because that would be a little bit ridiculous. But I want to talk about the viability of this card, if we think it is viable, if we think it could be played, or do we just think it's a little bit rubbish, a bit too slow, and not going to be used at all. So if we look at the playability of this card, it is essentially a Monster Reborn for pendulums, but slower, because Monster Reborn's obviously spell, and this is a trap, so you have to wait a turn. The upsides to this card are, for example, if you make a pendulum summon, and then your opponent will Solemn Warning or Solemn Notice or somehow destroy that pendulum summon, you can then follow it up with this being like, yeah, okay, I didn't lose too much. Being able to get things like Odd Eyes Dragon from your face-up extra deck, because you'll have, no doubt, first turn gone, Odd Eyes in your pendulum zone, set this, and then you'll be able to pop Odd Eyes to get its effect, and then you can bring it out next turn or in your opponent's turn, so you can do an extra maybe 2-5 damage. With the way that the format is going, with the way that the decks are being played out, there are a lot of pendulums. Obviously, because it's the brand new mechanic of Konami. Having this card is something that I think could be considered. Personally, I think depending on the deck that I'm going to run, if I were to play a pendulum deck, I would certainly test this card because it's just a slower Monster Reborn. There's no real big downside to it other than it could be a bit of a dead draw. It could be a very annoying card to get early game, so mid to late game is where it really shines. Being able to push for extra damage, being able to get pendulums back out from your graveyard to the field, and then if they aren't, negated, if the summon isn't negated, then when they are destroyed, they go back to your extra deck. So it means that you can possibly pendulum summon with them again, which is a pretty big thing, considering next format. Because considering when Bosch does hit, we're going to have Solemn Notice running around in most decks at 3, and that really hurts the pendulum summoning mechanic, because you can just put all of your monsters on the board and then they get Solemn Noticed or Solemn Warninged, and then they all go to the grave. This might be able to fill the void of those certain cards, but you could argue that instead of playing something like this to counteract your opponent destroying your pendulums, you would just play something that would counteract Solemn Notice or Solemn Warning instead. As I said, it all depends on the deck. I think someone was saying to me the DDD deck could quite use this, but as I said, it completely depends. It also depends on the meta. And with things like Twin Twister coming around the corner, it might be just a little bit too slow and an extra Twin Twister target for your minusing. So I want to know what you guys think of the Pendulum Reborn. Do you think it is any good, or do you just think it's a pile of trash that will never be used ever, apart from non-meta decks? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.